Hi friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Factory UPSC. Today in this lecture we are going to discuss the fifth chapter of NCERT Classics, and the name of chapter is Major Domains of the Earth. Before going to the chapter, those who does not subscribe to my channel, please subscribe and share it with your friends. This is very important chapter regarding NCERT exams as well as UPSC and other PSC state exams. Okay, let's look into the chapter. The surface of the Earth is a complex zone in which the three main components of the environment meet. They are lithosphere, atmosphere, and the hydrosphere. Okay, first of all, we are going to discuss the three components of the Earth, and the name of these three components were lithosphere, atmosphere, and the hydrosphere. Let's see what are they. The solid portion of the Earth on which we live is known as lithosphere. The gaseous layers that surround the Earth is atmosphere, where oxygen, nitrogen, and the carbon dioxide gases are found. Then the water covers a very large area of the Earth's surface, and this area is called as hydrosphere. The hydrosphere comprises water in all forms, that is ice, water, water vapor, etc. So we have discussed what is lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. There's a brief one-line summary, that is, what is lithosphere? The solid portion of the Earth is lithosphere, and the gaseous layer of the Earth which surrounds the Earth is known as atmosphere. And what is hydrosphere? The water component or the water content present in the Earth is known as hydrosphere. So let's say there is also biosphere. We can see the biosphere is a narrow zone where we find land, water, and air together, which contains all forms of life. So what is biosphere? Biosphere is a combination of lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere, or the place where atmosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere meet together is known as biosphere. That is a portion of the Earth where the life exists. Okay, so in the left side we can see a box, and that's also very important. Let's see that. In the Greek language, the lithos means stone, and the atmos means vapor, and the hudor means water, and the bios means life. So by that we can see how these words, that means how the lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere words are derived. Okay, so the lithos means stone, atmos which means vapor, hudor which means water, which stands for hydrosphere, and the bios which means life. Okay, so let's see in detail. Let's see what is hydrosphere. It is lithosphere. The solid portion of the Earth is called as lithosphere. It comprises the rock of Earth's crust and the thin layers of the solid that contain nutrient element which sustain the organisms. Okay, so the solid portion of the Earth is called as lithosphere. What does this lithosphere comprises of? The lithosphere comprises of rocks of the Earth crust and the thin layer of soil. Okay, there are two main divisions of the Earth's surface, with the large land masses which were known as continents, and the huge water bodies are called as ocean basins. So in the lithosphere itself, there are two major division of the Earth's surface, which is called as continents and the ocean basins. So what is called as continents? The continents means the large masses. That means the large masses of the land is known as continent, and the huge water body were termed as ocean basins. So there is a map which shows here. Here we can find the huge continents and the ocean basins. We can find there are 7 continents, that is North America, South America, Antarctica, Africa, Europe, Asia, and Australia. And we can find there are 5 oceans here, which are of Pacific, Indian Oceans, Arctic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Southern Ocean. Okay, so we will discuss that in detail. Let's see, the highest mountain peak, that is a Mount Everest, is of 8,848 meter above the sea level. So the measurement is very important regarding exams. So note that the highest mountain peak is Mount Everest, and which is of 8,848 meter above the sea level, and the greatest depth is of 11,022 meter, which is recorded on the Mariana Trench in Pacific Ocean. So when we see the measurement, we can find that the depth, that means in the Mariana Trench, we can put easily a Mount Everest in Mariana Trench, isn't it? The Mount Everest is only of 8,848 meter, but we can find that the Mariana Trench is of 11,022 meter. So we can analyze that we can put a Mount Everest easily inside our Mariana Trench. Okay. So in the left side we can see a blue box. It is also very important. Let's read that. Edmund Hillary of New Zealand and the Tenzing Norgay and Napa Sherpa of India were the first men to climb the highest mountain peak, that is Mount Everest, on the planet of the Earth on 29th May 1953. And the first woman to climb Mount Everest is Jingo Tabe, and she climbs the Mount Everest on 16th May 1975. And the first Indian woman to climb Mount Everest is Bachendri Pal. She climbed it on 23rd May 1984. So these measurements, dates and persons are very important and very relevant regarding the exams. So we have come across the facts regarding the Mount Everest and the person who and the people who climb Mount Everest. I will repeat once more. The Mount Everest is of 8,848 meter, and the Mariana Trench is of 11,022 meter. And the first persons who climbed the Mount Everest were Edmund Hillary, Tenzing Norgay, and Appa Sherpa. They climbed the Mount Everest on 29th May 1953. And the first woman to climb Mount Everest is Jingo Tabe, and she has achieved these heights on 16th May 1975. And the first woman to climb Mount Everest is Bachendri Pal, and she achieved it on 23rd May 1984. So is that clear? I hope you have cleared these points. So let's see the major and very important concept, that is continents. Okay, there are 7 continents. Let's analyze this using our map. That may be very useful for us. So this is our continent, and we can find this is our globe, and we can find there are 7 continents here. Okay, so there are 7 major continents, and they are separated by the large water bodies, isn't it? We can see the large water bodies here by the form of oceans, and there are 7 continents which are of Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, and Antarctica. Okay, so let's see what is Asia. So we can locate the Asia on the globe. And what is the specialty of Asia? Asia is the largest continent, and which covers about 1/3 of total area of the earth. Okay, so by analyzing the portion of this map, we can find that the Asia is the largest continent. So itself, the Asia covers 1/3 of the total area of the earth. And the continent which lies on the eastern hemisphere, okay, isn't it? The continent lies on the eastern side. That means on the right side of the earth, we can find Asia. And the Tropic of Cancer passes through this continent, and Asia is separated. And the Asia is separated from the Europe by Ural Mountains. Okay, isn't it? Here we can find Asia, and here is Europe. So there is a boundary between the Asia and Europe, which is separated using mountain ranges, and it is known as Ural Mountain Ranges, which lies on the western side of Asia. Is that clear? And the combined land masses of the Europe and Asia is called as Eurasia. That means the place where the Europe and Asia separates, and their joining points. That means on the behalf of these Ural Mountains and this boundary, there is a combination of these Europe plus Asia, that means termed as Eurasia. Okay, so let's see what are the features of next continent, that is Europe. Europe is much smaller than that of Asia, and the continent which lies on the west of Asia, isn't it? The Europe which lies on the western side of Asia. Then the Arctic Circle passes through it, and we can find that the Arctic Circle is passing through it. Then it is bounded by the water bodies of the 3 sides, isn't it? We can find there is water body on the 3 sides of this Europe. And these are some specialties of Europe. We can find the Alps mountain ranges in Europe, and the Ural mountain ranges which borders with Asia, and there is Mediterranean Sea in between Europe and Africa. So let's look into the next continent, that is Africa. Africa is the second largest continent after Asia. We have already discussed that Asia is the first largest continent and Africa is the second largest continent after Asia. There is a main speciality that we can find when we observe the lines which were passing through Africa. Isn't it the Tropic of Cancer, Equator and the Tropic of Capricorn? That means the three major lines were passing through Africa. So Africa is the only continent in which Tropic of Cancer, Equator and the Tropic of Capricorn passes. Okay, that means the 0-degree latitude runs almost through the middle of the continent and the largest part of Africa is lie on the northern hemisphere. That is what we have that is what we can find when we look into the top portion of the 0-degree, that means the equator line, and we can find that the most portion of the Africa is lying above the equator. Okay, and we can find there is Sahara Desert, Atlas Mountains, and there is also Drakensberg Mountains in the Africa. Okay, so the Sahara Desert is the world's largest and hot desert which is located in Africa, and the continent is bound on all the three sides by the ocean. Isn't it? The continent Africa is bounded by ocean on the three sides. And we can find there is a river, that is Nile River. It is the world's longest river which is flowing through Africa. And we have already discussed there, we can find the three major lines they were passing through Africa, that is Equator, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So Africa is very important continent. So let's move to the next continent, that is North America. North America is the third largest continent after Asia and Africa. And we can find that there is very narrow strip of the land called as Isthmus of Panama that we are passing through Asia. So we can find that the continent which lies completely on the northern and western hemisphere, and the oceans, and then that means the three oceans are surrounding this continent. We can find that there is Atlantic Ocean, Arctic Ocean, and here that is Pacific Ocean. So the North America is covered with the three oceans, that is Pacific, Atlantic and Arctic Ocean. Let's see to the next continent, that is South America. The South America which is lying the mostly in the southern hemisphere, which the two oceans are surrounding through east and west, that is Pacific Ocean, Southern Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. Is that clear? Then when we look into this map, we can find that there is Andes Mountain on the left side of the South America. Okay, and we can also find there is Amazon River, which is the largest river in our world. Okay, so South America is famous for Andes Mountain ranges and Amazon River. So let's look into the next continent, that is Australia. Australia is the smallest continent that lies entirely in the southern hemisphere and which is surrounded on all sides by the ocean and seas, and it is also known as an island continent. Okay, so what is Australia? Australia is the smallest continent that lies entirely on the southern hemisphere and it is surrounded on all sides by the ocean and seas, and it is also called as an island continent. Okay, so we can also find there is a important mountain ranges on Australia, and that is the Great Sandy Desert and there is also Great Dividing Ranges. Okay, so there is the Great Sandy Desert and the Great Dividing Ranges that we can find on the map in Australia. So let's look into the next continent, that is Antarctica. Antarctica is completely in southern hemisphere and it's a huge continent. The South Pole which lies almost to the center of this continent, and it is located in the South Polar region, and it is permanently covered with thick ice sheet and there is no permanent human settlements in Antarctica. So Antarctica we can find on the Southern Ocean, that means below the Southern Ocean there is Antarctica. And Antarctica, as we see that there is full of white color, that means it is entirely covered with hard ice sheets and there is no permanent human settlement we can find on Antarctica. But there are also so many countries have the research stations in Antarctica. India also have research station in Antarctica, and the name of research stations were Maitri and Dakshina Gangotri. Okay, so is that clear? On the left side we can find another blue box, which is also very important. That means we can find there is a small connection between North America and the South America, and this small connection is known as isthmus. Okay, so what is an isthmus? An isthmus is a narrow strip of land which is joining on two land masses. That means that small area of the land which joins two large land masses were known as isthmus. Here there is a box which shows what is a strait. A strait is a narrow passage of water connecting to the large water bodies like seas and the ocean. Here we can find there is a strait that is in between Sri Lanka and India, and here there is a question that is name the strait between India and Sri Lanka. So it's a homework for you. Comment your answer. What is the strait? What is the name of strait between India and Sri Lanka? Okay, so is that clear with these 7 continents? I hope you have cleared all these. So continuously read this 4 or 5 times there, so that you can fix it in your mind. Okay, so don't forget the homework. Name the or comment the name of the strait in between India and Sri Lanka. So let's see the second portion, that is known as hydrosphere. The earth is called as blue planet, and more than 71% of the earth is covered with water and 29% with land. Hydrosphere consists of water in all forms, as running water in ocean and the rivers in lake and the ice in glaciers, which underground waters and the water vapor in atmosphere all comprises of hydrosphere, which means all the water content. That means all the water bodies which in our earth together forms hydrosphere, which constitute of ocean, river, lake, ice in glaciers, and other water content or water vapor etc., which all constitute together to form hydrosphere. More than 97% of Earth's water is found in ocean and is too salty for human use. Okay, so there is a pie diagram which shows that quantity of water. Here it says that more than 97% of Earth water is found in ocean and is too salty for human use. That means we cannot use that water. A large proportion of the rest of water is in the form of ice sheet and glacier of underground and very small percentage is available as fresh water for human use. So we can see that pie diagram by showing that there is 97% of ocean water and only 2.5% of fresh water that can be used. So by this diagram we can find that how scarce our water is. So please don't waste your water and conserve water with care. Okay, here is a simple diagram which shows how much quantity that each continents together to form. That means Asia, Europe, North America, South America, Africa and Australia. Here we can find that Asia is the largest continent, and Africa is the second largest continent, and the third largest continent is North America, and like that. Then the smallest continent is Australia. Okay, so here is a simple diagram which shows the land distribution in the continents. Okay, so let's see what are oceans. Oceans are the main part of hydrosphere. They are interconnected. That means all oceans are interconnected. The ocean water are always moving. The 3 chief movement of ocean water are waves, tides and ocean currents. So there are 3 movements in ocean. There are waves, tides and ocean currents. There are major 5 oceans are Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, South Ocean and Arctic Ocean. According to their size we can arrange them as at the first the first largest is Pacific Ocean, second largest is Atlantic, third largest is Indian Ocean, fourth largest is Southern Ocean and fifth largest is Arctic Ocean. Is that clear? The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean and it is separated over 1/3 of Earth. The Mariana Trench, as we have discussed, that is the largest that means the deepest point of the earth, and the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the earth, which is lies on Pacific Ocean. And the Pacific Ocean is almost in circular shape, and Asia, Australia, North and South America are surrounded by it. Okay, so when we look into the map, we can find it more easier that the Pacific Ocean, as we can see, there is a Pacific Ocean. The shape of Pacific Ocean is almost circular because there is half circle on this side and a half circle on this side. Okay, so let's see what is the specialty of next ocean, that is Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is the second largest ocean in the world, and it is S-shaped. When we draw an imaginary line that is flowing through that we can draw through Arctic Ocean, which connects Atlantic and then to the Southern Ocean, we can find that there is an imaginary S shape. It is flanked by North and South America. Okay, isn't it? It is surrounded by North and South America, then Africa and Europe. Then the irregular shape of this constitute the natural harbors and ports. There are so many natural harbors and ports on this Atlantic Ocean. And from the point of commerce, we can find that it is the busiest ocean. That means it is lies between the major part of the trading part of the earth. So it is termed as the busiest ocean. Okay. Then third, there is Indian Ocean. There are so many importance towards Indian Ocean. Let's see what are they. Indian Ocean is the only ocean which is named after the country, that is India. The shape of ocean is almost triangular, isn't it? When we draw a imaginary triangle, we can find that there is a triangle will fit in between this ocean. So it is almost a triangular shape. In north, it is bounded by Asia, and in the west by Africa, and in east by Australia, isn't it? So in the east side there is Australia, in the west side there is Africa, and in the north side there is Asia. So what is the specialty of Indian Ocean? Indian Ocean is the only ocean which is named after a country, that is India. Then we can see the next ocean, that is Arctic Ocean, on the top side of the globe. The Arctic Ocean is located within the Arctic Circle, and which is surrounded by the North Pole. Okay, so Arctic Ocean is on the North Pole, and it is surrounded by Arctic Circle, and it is connected with the Pacific Ocean through a narrow stretch of the shallow water is known as Bering Strait. Okay, so the Arctic Ocean is connected to the Pacific Ocean through a small strait which is known as Bering Strait, which is bounded by the northern coast. Okay, so it is hydrosphere. So we have discussed the main portion of the hydrosphere, that is ocean, and we have also discussed the 5 major oceans, its shape and etc. We have discussed that the Pacific Ocean is circular shape, Atlantic Ocean is S shape, and the Indian Ocean is triangular shape. Okay, so let's see the third concept, that is atmosphere. So we have to go to the third topic, that is atmosphere. So let's see what is atmosphere. The earth is surrounded by the layer of gas. It is known as atmosphere. That means we can see a small diagram here which consists of exosphere, thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere and troposphere. That means all these constitute together to form atmosphere. The earth is surrounded by a layer of gas which is known as atmosphere. The thin blanket of the air, which is an integral and the important aspect of the planet. It provides us with the air we breathe and protect us from harmful layers of sun rays. So the atmosphere helps us from the harmful effects of sun's rays. And the atmosphere extends up to the height about 1600 kilometers. That means this atmosphere, that means it contains of troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere, all together extends to the height of 1600 kilometers, and the atmosphere is divided into 5 layers that we have already said, that is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere, and there is also exosphere. Okay, then the atmosphere is composed mainly of nitrogen and oxygen, which make about of 99% air clean. Then the nitrogen of 78% and the oxygen is 21%, and other gases like carbon dioxide, argon and other by 1% of volume. Okay, so oxygen is the breath of life, while the nitrogen help in growing of living organisms. So Are we have breathing oxygen, and nitrogen also help in development of the living organism. Carbon dioxide through which is present in one minute amount, which is also the use of carbon dioxide is that which absorb the heat radiated by the earth, and it is also necessary for the growing of the plant. Okay, so these are the main components of the atmosphere. So there is another important concept is also, that means the density along with the height. Okay, let's see what is it. The density of the atmosphere varies with the height. That means it is maximum at the sea level and decreases rapidly as we go. So we can find that so that is the main reason why the climbers experience breathing problem due to the decrease in the density of air on the top of mountain, and they have to carry, that means they are also carrying the oxygen cylinders to them to breathe at high altitudes. Okay, and the temperature also decreases when we go upwards. So these are the main components or the main features of the atmosphere. So let's move to the biosphere. As we have discussed, the biosphere is a portion of the earth where atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere coexist. That means here is a perfect picture which shows what is a biosphere. So let's see what is biosphere. The biosphere is a narrow zone of the contact between land, water and air. It is a zone of the life that is unique planet exists. There are several aspects of the species of organisms that is very in size. That means there are microbacteria to the huge mammals. All are living organisms, which includes human as well as biosphere which we are surviving. The organisms in the biosphere are more broadly classified or categorized into plant kingdom and animal kingdom. And similarly, the Earth's surface may be changed to natural calamities like earthquake. For example, there could be submergence of the land, which has happened in the case of tsunami recently, and the part of Andaman Nicobar Islands were submerged underwater. And the discharge of the waste material into the lake and the river makes the water unsustainable for human use, and it is also damages for the human life. Okay, then the emission of the industries, that is the thermal power plants and the vehicles which pollute the air, and it also emits carbon dioxide, which is an important constituent of air. So is the excess of carbon dioxide is problem to us? Yes, because an increase in the amount of carbon dioxide leads to an increase in global temperature. So when the carbon dioxide increases, it leads to increase in global temperature. It is termed as global warming, and there is thus a need to limit the resource of earth to maintain the balance of nature between the domains of lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. That means we have to keep a balance between these three layers, that means lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere, in order to maintain a good biosphere. Okay, these are the main components of this chapter. We have discussed the continents, oceans, atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere like layers, and it's very important chapter because we are discussing the continuity of this chapter in 7th and 8th standards. So make clear through this chapter, and if there is any doubts you can comment below. I will reply. Then I hope you enjoy this lecture. If you like, then like this video, subscribe to my channel and share it to your friends. Thank you.